This conference will now be recorded.
Professor Boyd,
Yes,
will we have a midterm review this year or no?
that's what we're sort of doing now. The problem you're doing today is your midterm.
Okay.
So we moved from the class doing it to each team doing it till each individual doing it. Okay, so
So today, basically, the each team will be doing it, or the in class problem, or are we
today,
doing this in class
yes.
problem okay, okay.
So today we're going over all aspects of it together, but you got to turn it in to be complete. Now let's look at what's happening. You're making the product, and then we've got these stages that we've got to go through to make journal entries following the product. In stage one, we buy the raw materials and other types of items to get the company going. In stage two, we transfer uh, the raw materials in for production, and we have the workers, pay them, and we estimate the overhead. We got to get the total dollar amount because each month the company is looking at what was produced and what did it actually cost. And so we have to come up with a way to record these journal entries and move on to get the manufacturing report done, cost of manufacturing report done. Stage three is where we transfer the items to finished goods. It's just one journal entry. Stage four, we have several journal entries. We have to sell the goods. Uh, Typically, we'll do cash sales as a standard journal entry. And then we have to record how much the items cost. We estimate the overhead over here. When the actual overhead comes in, we have to compare actual with estimated. And we'll talk about that today. And then stage five are the general and administrative journal entries that you're familiar with from Principles One, selling administrative expenses and dividends. So this is how we're moving across. And you got the accounts. So different from Principles One, where a lot of time you had to come up with the accounts and you had the dollar amounts. As we move into Principles Two, you're going to have to typically always be calculating what goes into these standard journal entries. So these journal entries are pretty much standard. So let's next look at your problem. And this is your problem. It's an in-class problem. You simply have one raw material, labor, you have this overhead. The first thing we worked on this last time, the first thing we do is we calculate unit cost, selling price, and POR. Those first three things we do. And we focused on that so much last week so that it would be secondhand how to do this because journal entries are based on these numbers. And if these numbers are incorrect, then we have issues. You can see the journal entries, stage one, team three, stage two, team one, stage three, team five, stage four, team seven, stage five, team four, stage six, team six. These are the journal entries that will be made. These are the T accounts. I'll keep these up to post as we're going through. And then all teams had to prepare cost of goods manufactured and a cost of goods sold. And as we go through, you're going to see that uh, when we make the journal entries and post to the T accounts, we got most of this work done. It's a lot of lines, but the cost of goods manufactured is always the raw materials, direct labor, and the applied manufacturing overhead. We have to, when we're running a company, add those three items up to get the cost of goods manufactured each period and make sure we're staying within our uh, standards on that. Okay, so I'm going to keep these T accounts up. Now I'm assuming you have your journal entries up. And let me just see if I can. So you're supposed to be working the problem on the spreadsheet. Okay. You're supposed to be working the problem on the spreadsheet. So I'm going to assume you got the problem up. And so we're just on this first column now. We want to come up with the unit cost, selling price, and POR. So what team has this for us? Let me flip up here.
Gonna be team 1.
Now it's team 2. Team 2 is assigned estimated unit cost, selling price, and POR. Is team 2 in the house? I will assume team 2 is not in the house. I attempt to give them an easy one, but that happened. Okay, so
Dr. Boyd, team 5 will take the easy points.
well,
It's gonna
that's
be for
fine.
extra credit.
Probably,
I'll do
but
it.
all right, Rihanna. Since Rihanna emailed me and said she's planning on making an A, so go ahead, Rihanna.
And she is team 5, Dr. Boyd. So
I know, yeah.
Hold on,
So
hold on, hold on.
you can do it. So
Hold on. I gotta open up my computer. It's gonna take me some time.
we're making these first three calculations.
Okay, what you wanted me to do?
I want the estimated unit cost. Somebody else on your team will do the selling price, other than Mike, and then somebody else on your team will do POR.
Oh, the unit cost. I got 36.
Tell me how you got it.
I did the ink 2 at $10 for 20. Then the 3 hours per book at
Slow
$12.
down,
I got
slow
4.
down, slow
Oh,
down.
sorry.
So the ink was 20.
Yes, I
Then
got
you
20 for the ink.
needed some labor. How much was the labor?
Is that the 3 hours per book at $12?
Yep, yep.
Okay, you divide 12 divided by 3, right? And you get 4. That's what I got.
So our direct labor rate here is 12, but our productivity is 3 hours. So what you're telling me is that if you work 3 hours at $12 an hour, I would just have to pay you $4. You're gonna work 3 hours, you're being paid $12 an hour. I just need to pay you $4. Is that what you're saying, Rihanna?
Oh, I thought that was for the books.
It,
So
it
it would be
says
12 times 3.
mm-hmm.
So 12 times 3.
It's 36.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right, what about see if you can redeem yourself? How much is the manufacturing overhead?
12. Wait, which
I
one?
guess
What are you talking
the three costs. There's raw materials, labor,
about? The
and overhead.
labor and the overhead.
So
That's
now we're on
600.
overhead.
by 50,000, right?
Okay, so that's going to be 600,000. The amount of overhead divided by
The
the quantity,
50,000.
50,000.
And then you get 12.
When we add those up, what's our total unit cost?
So you got 56 plus 12, 68.
Okay. Are there any questions by anybody? So this will always change. It'll be very different on your profit next time. Okay, somebody else on Team 5, give me the selling price.
$204.
Not Mike.
Oh,
Somebody
sorry.
else.
Can I do it?
Sure.
So it'll be 68 times 3.
Okay, so it'll be 68 times 3. So when we have that multiple of 3, we're going to multiply it by 3. And so what's our selling price going to be?
204.
And of course, when we sell this product, we're going to go with that 204 as our selling price. That's what we're estimating. The next thing is the POR. How much is the POR? Well, Mike, we'll call
Do
on
you
you
want
on
me to
this
say
one
it?
then.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on,
you can.
Ryan.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, I got 4. Come
Tell
on.
me how you got it. You got 4. Tell me how you got it.
I got 3 hours time 50,000, that equals 150,000, and then I got 600,000 divided by 150,000, and you get 4.
So the first
No, I
thing,
don't need my wallet. Just I'll rate them bring it.
is the total overhead, 600,000. Second thing is what? The quantity, which is 50,000 we're making. Our productivity rate is 3. So if we got to takes 3 hours to make one, then it's going to take what? 3 times 50, 150,000 hours to make 50,000. Then our POR is always total overhead divided by total hours. 600,000 divided by 150 gives us 4. Any questions on that? Can everybody calculate it? Everybody can make this calculation. So what you gonna do with that $4, Rihanna? Since this is $4. What you gonna do with this $4? You calculated it. What you gonna do with it? You would just calculate it for no reason?
No, I got the 4 for the
All right, well, we'll come back to it later. So you made a calculation of $4. I'll ask you the question again later. Now,
Can I give her a little help on that one?
please.
I thought she was just gonna take her seat.
No, it's a team game. It's a team effort. We're all getting that extra credit. So team effort.
All right, so what you gonna do with the 4?
So we're going to multiply that times our total hours, or our what we think our hours are, 152,000 hours, to get our so we're going to take our predetermined overhead rate times the actual labor hours it takes to make our work, or what that is. So that's going to be for journal entry. What is it?
What journal entry is it?
That one's going to be for journal entry. 152 work in progress and cash direct labor. Is that right?
You all okay? So what you all should do? Put the 4 right here. You see where I'm putting the 4 at? Put the 4 right there. Let me make these larger.
Out of 608,000. Work in progress manufacturing overhead. I
Yeah.
had the wrong one.
Okay. So let's just put this 4 right here. 24. Okay. And we'll come back to it later. Now, what you have here are the journal entries that we're going to make. And I'm assuming everybody can see these pretty well, right? Okay. Other than those preliminary journal entries, these journal entries won't change. You're going to be debiting raw materials and crediting accounts payable in stage 1 and stage 2. You're going to make these journal entries. You'd have a transfer of raw materials for every uh, raw materials you have. Stage 3, finished goods work in process. Stage 4, cash sales, making and cost of goods sold, finished goods, and the actual overhead. These don't change. So when you work the problem, you just got to calculate the numbers and put them in. So where are we at now? Team 3? Team 3 in the house?
Yeah, Mr. Speed, I'm team 3, Mr. Boyd.
Yes, yes,
I
sir.
I give him my first journal entry.
Cash. The first journal entry gonna be cash for 50,000 debit, and we bought common stock because we just starting off, opening our corporation,
But what
and
actually
then
happened there is
I'm
that
so
you start your company with $50,000 and you got stock certificates worth 50,000 back. Okay.
correct.
That's
Then
next.
the next one is a purchase of equipment for a debit for 800,000, and
What
then
you debiting? What
say
you
that again.
debiting? What are you debiting?
Uh, I'm
Equipment.
debiting. I'm debiting equipment,
Okay.
and I'm crediting notes payable for 800,000.
Okay.
Then my third journal entry will be a purchase of ink, which will be a $1.1 million. So I'm a debit raw materials and credit accounts payable 1.1 million.
You got to tell them how you got 1.1 million. They
Oh,
might
I,
not know.
I, I multiplied the $10 times 110,000 to give me a 1.1 million.
So we bought 110 uh, thousand ink cartridges. And the price was $10. We just
Correct.
multiplied that out, and we got 1,100,000.
Correct.
Noticing we're crediting accounts payable. We always, when we buy inventory, we credit accounts payable. Now, and you should be doing this on your Excel spreadsheet, but you should be putting that raw materials in here as a debit for 1,100,000. Okay. So I'm just looking at, we're just going to be posting here the basic journal entries that relate to the manufacturing process. Any questions on stage 1?
I have one question, Mr. Boyd. So all I'm on my T account. I'm just putting the debit for the raw materials. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't have any work in process or finished goods.
Well, you could put an accounts payable down. We will eventually get to that, but today I just want to concentrate on getting
Oh
this
yeah.
done because we got to get our cost of goods sold and cost of goods manufactured, cost of goods sold statement. So
Okay.
that's all I'm concentrating on now, so that we can get a cost of goods manufactured and cost of goods sold statement. Okay, now we on the stage 2. What's happening in stage 2, team 1?
Uh, okay. So the first entry in stage, was it 2,
Yep,
is
stage
work
2.
is work in progress. Debited for $1 million, and then raw material inventory credit for $1 million.
Because we only transferred in 100,000, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at what's happening now. We've got a credit in this account for 1,100,000 now. We got a debit to work in process for, excuse me, this should be $1 million, and a debit to work in process for $1 million. So now we're going on and posting it, and so we know that our balance in this account is now 100,000. Okay, what's our next entry?
The next
Mm,
one.
I
Oh,
could take that.
go ahead.
Yeah. So the next entry will be debiting work in progress for $1,520,000 and crediting cash for labor, the direct labor.
How'd you get 1,520,000?
Multiplying the hours by the labor rate.
How many hours did the work? What were the actual hours?
Oh, the actual hours are 152,000 hours.
And our labor rate was what?
$10 an hour.
Oh, we got that. And what happened next?
Um, and then the next one, we debit work in progress for 608,000, and then manufacturing overhead credit for 608,000.
How'd you get 608?
Because you multiply the actual hours worked by the manufacturing overhead, which was 4, so 150,
What is this for?
152.
What's
Say it
that
again.
for called? What's that for called?
Is it the manufacturing overhead estimate?
Then we have a name for it.
Uh,
Team
I
5, what's the name for it?
Let me go look at it.
Predetermined overhead rate.
Okay.
POR, predetermined overhead rate. So remember I told you all going to be using it. Well, this is where you use it. So now we got 520. So whenever something impacts these manufacturing accounts, we're putting them in here. Now we know we eventually get back to debits and credits and all of the posting, but just concentrating on these. So look at what we have here now: 1,520,000, 608, and we're supposed to make how many?
50,000.
We're supposed to make 50,000. How many did we actually make?
40,000.
So there are going to be some consequences of making only 40,000 versus 50,000. Okay, there are going to be some consequences. So these are not journal entries. So what? So, but With team 5, how much you transfer in the finished goods?
So $2.84 million. I don't know if I
How
did
much
that.
is how much is in
Two
here in the first place? How much? What were the debits to work in process? We add these up. How much is it?
more than that.
3,128,000 is if I add these up.
Yes.
3,000,000, comma 128. Those were the total debits. How much you transferring out?
2840000.
Okay. So let's look at what we're going to transfer out. Now, we paid the workers $1,520,000 to reduce 50,000. Are we going to ask the workers for the money back since they didn't produce as many as they should have?
No.
All right. So $1,520,000 becomes the amount of labor that's going to have to be transferred to finished goods. Can we ask the utility companies to refund the bill because the workers didn't make enough items, and the property tax people
No.
and the foreman, because people didn't make enough profit, the foreman we should. But you're going to have to and unless you're going to get the money back from the workers, and that might be pretty difficult. Even they were on the cell phone, left work early, didn't get the work done, played around. That still happens. Now let's go to the ink cartridges. Hopefully the ink cartridges are still here for 10,000 of the units. And so we completed 40% of the items, 40% of 50 is 80. So we can transfer out 800,000 in ink cartridges. And what's going to happen is that next period, another set of workers with overhead will have to finish up the 200,000 that's left for the ink cartridge. So the ink cartridges are here. You're going to have to incur some more costs to get those other 10,000 done. So we look at the percentage complete. Since 40% over 50 is 80%, then 80% of the raw materials transfer out. Are there any questions about that? Everybody see that? So we add these costs up. So we add all of these up. How much do we have? That's how much we're transferring out. 800, a million, 520, and 608 is how much?
2928000.
So the simple thing, all of the labor, because they've been paid, all the overhead, because the overhead's been paid, but a pro rata part of the raw materials, because the raw materials are still there and they'll be used next period. So how much we got left in work in process raw materials now? How much money is left in raw materials? I mean, work in process? I got that
200,000.
Excel. 200,000. So the journal entry in stage 3 is a debit to finished goods for 2,928 and a credit to work in process for 2,928. Now in finished goods, we've got two 928. And that's based on finishing 40,000 units. How many units did we sell?
40,000. Oh, all right.
Was that Team 7 or whatever? How many units did it
What?
say we?
What
How
happened?
many? How many?
No, what you say? Say it again.
How many units did we sell?
30,000. 30,000 books.
30,000.
Dr. Boyd, before we get to that, so the net on that previous question, it was determine the actual unit cost. That was the last part of that. So how do you figure out what the actual unit cost is?
Actual unit cost. Now we estimated the unit cost to be how much?
68.
Well, okay. What we're gonna have to do, we got 40,000 complete and 2928. So we gotta divide 2928 by 40,000.
And that's gonna get an actual unit price.
Yep.
Wow.
So
Well, you
you
said
go
it one more time. What we
estimate
got? What's the calculation?
2928 divided by 40,000.
All right, got you.
So that's 7320.
Yes, sir.
So we estimated that cost at what?
68.
68. So that's a big difference, right? Okay, so now we're ready to sell. So this is why you know the managers have to make sure you know the production is on target. If not, your unit cost gonna be higher, and there are gonna be some upset people. No bonuses. So we said we sold how many? 30, how many did we sell?
30.
30,000. Okay. What's our selling price?
You said what's the selling price?
204.
Yeah,
204.
204. That's what you calculated.
So
So
Dr.
what's
Boyd,
so yeah,
so
yes.
if our actual unit price is different, do we multiply that times that, or do we still hold that um, what we initially said for our selling price?
Well, you go buy something and the selling price is 204. Are you gonna pay them more because they were inefficient?
No, but if I go next week, they're going to raise that price if the manufacturing cost was more.
But they got competitors. So you
Okay.
can't just go around raising prices. You're in a competitive world. You raise your price, they go somewhere else.
Okay.
So you have to be on target. Management has to be on target in terms of getting many more produced. They didn't. So you see the consequences. Okay, so if we sold 30,000 for 204, how much cash we got?
6,120,000.
6,120,000. Okay. What's our cost of goods sold going to be? Our inventory people, what's cost of goods sold going to be?
2.196.
I got 2.196. I'm not saying it's
So what the actual unit cost was times 30,000?
right. So that was what, 73.20,
20?
right?
Yes, sir.
73. So that's going to be how much?
2
2 million
million
what?
196,000.
Six. So we're just making our standard journal entry. So this becomes, we would credit this account for 2,196,000. So how much does that leave in finished goods inventory? 928 minus 196 is how much?
732,000.
Okay, 732. Okay, what comes next?
Wait, so whenever we find the cost of goods sold and finished goods, we go multiply the 30,000 by the 73.2, right?
It's 70 what? 3.2, correct. That's why I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
putting them in here.
got you.
So our estimated overhead was 608. So remember, we debited work in process and credited manufacturing overhead. This was the estimated 608 based on the labor hours incurred.
So I got a
Okay.
question. Why don't you use the original unit cost when you go down to the cost of goods sold right here?
Well, because it costs you more.
Because of the
You,
mistake?
yep, that was a mistake. That
Okay,
will you will pay for in your profit.
okay.
So control is very important, and that's where production managers come in. They got to go and be out there and making sure the work is proceeding. Most times, they will be closer, but I just use numbers that you can see a lot easier. Okay, so we estimated this overhead at 608, but when we got to the actual overhead, it was how much? Said it was team four. Is team four in the house?
Yeah, I'm a part of Team 4, but I ain't gonna even lie, I
Yes,
don't know.
sir.
I'm still working on it.
We don't.
So, sir.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So what I did was for the depreciation, I did 1,000 and 6,000.
160,000
Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry.
cash,
450,000.
and we added those numbers together. And how much did we get?
610,000.
So for the manufacturing overhead, we estimated 608, but it's actually turning out to be 610.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
We have 2,000 left over.
Uh, we got 2,000 left over, but you got 2,000 more on the cost than you estimated. So you got to go down here and make an entry. We forgot to put our
Mhm.
cost 219,600. Yes,
I
I
have a
was gonna
question.
say. Yes.
So, like, when we do the test, is the depreciation cost already gonna be on now, or do we have to calculate that?
It'll be on there. Unless you want me to have you calculate it, I can do that.
Oh,
But nothing's
okay.
gonna be any different. You just gotta be able to do what you
No,
see
no.
here.
Yeah. Let's have it on there.
Okay. Yeah, we aren't trying to do the calculations. Our thing is really trying to get the production costs down. So we got the sales, got cost of goods sold. So when you don't have enough overhead, you got to make an entry either debiting manufacturing overhead or crediting cost of goods sold if you had over applied, but you under applied, so you got a debit cost of goods sold, a credit manufacturing overhead. What you got to realize is that this account's got to go to zero. So we got 610 and 608. We got to credit this account for 2000. It must go to zero, and we're gonna debit cost of goods sold for 2000. We're just 2000 short on the cost, and so we just put it in at this point. So if it were the other way, then we would reverse the entry. So if it was a situation where we had 608 here and we'd estimated 610, then we do this entry. We debit manufacturing overhead and credit cost of goods sold. Just always keep in mind in terms of selecting which entry you're going to make, this account has got to go to zero, okay? This account goes to zero. Any questions? We're almost
So
finished
you,
now.
so Dr. Boyd, you do that. So if you underestimated what that overhead was, you automatically take it out of cost of good, or do you wait till you're going through, once you see that there's a difference, then you automatically put it over to cost of goods sold?
Right.
Is that how that
You
works?
could allocate it to finished goods, but it's just easier. Just put it here and be done with
Okay.
it. You could prorate it to finished goods also. But just for what we're doing now, the thing is you estimated it, you were low for the actual cost. And so now the cost is 2000 higher further. Now we need some stage 5 entries. Those should be pretty easy, right? What's in stage 5? Team 6, selling expenses, administrative expenses, and dividends. Where's team 6 at?
Right here.
All right.
So we're gonna debit selling expense. Well, we have to figure out 20% of sales, and so
Mm-hmm.
we had 6,120,000 for sales, and then
Okay.
20% of that is 1,224,000.
I'll
So we're
take your
gonna
word for it.
debit selling expense for that amount and credit cash for that amount, 1,224,000.
Everybody see that? Just a 20% rate, 20% of sales. So 1,224,000. Next, administrative expense
And
was
then we
up.
have administrative expenses totaled 1 million.
Okay.
Totaled 1 million, so we're going to debit administrative expense for 1 million and cash credit 1 million.
Okay. And what's our filing one in stage 5?
We're going to debit dividends for 50,000 and credit cash for 50,000.
So you notice these are the financial journal entries that we made from it before. And so we did that review, so it will be no problem to put these in. Any questions on the journal entries? And each team now make these journal entries? post them to the ledger. And our goal in getting them posted to the ledger is that we want to be able to do our cost of goods sold, cost of goods manufacturing, cost of goods sold. So let's go to the cost of goods. Let's get our cost of goods manufactured first. And there are three predominant costs: direct materials, direct labor, and applied manufacturing overhead. And they always stay that way. So what's our direct materials cost going to be? We didn't have any beginning raw materials. That's zero. How much did we purchase in raw materials? Way
We
back along.
purchased 1.1 million.
Okay. Now ending is how much?
Would that be
$100,000,
one
right? But the raw materials used were how much?
1 million?
Uh, and what was our labor?
Was it 1,520,000?
Billion, 520. What was our applied manufacturing overhead, team one?
Um, 608,000.
108,000. So the total manufacturing cost, we add all of these numbers up, it comes out to be what? 3,128,000. We didn't have any beginning work in process inventory, but we said the ending work in process inventory was what? 200,000.
Yeah,
So we subtract 3,128 from 200,000, we get our cost of goods manufactured being what? What is our cost of goods manufactured? How much did it cost to make these goods? Don't all speak at once.
2928 900
$2,928,000.
000.
Mm-hmm. I noticed. Do you see that number anywhere else? You see that number anywhere else?
Under sales.
In our T account.
On the T account.
On the credit.
You see it here as the credit to work in process and the debit to finished goods. So the answer to this, the answer is always this number that you transfer from work in process to finished goods. So when you get the T accounts done, you got the answer. Whatever you transferred, that's the answer. You got to work your numbers back to that answer. Okay? Any questions
We had a video posted today for this class.
for today?
Yeah.
Do you need it?
Yeah, just to review a couple more
All
times.
right. Okay. Now let's see if we can do a cost of goods sold statement. We didn't have any beginning finished goods. That was 0. Then we're going to bring down our cost of goods manufactured. So we just bring that number down. Then we're going to subtract out the finished goods inventory. We said the finished goods inventory was 732,000. And therefore, the unadjusted cost of goods sold was 2,196,000. We add under applied overhead and deduct over, we were over, so we put the 2,000 here. We'll get the adjusted cost of goods sold is 2 million what? 198. If we add these two numbers up, we come up with what? 2 million, 198. So as you working with this, this is why I put these T accounts up here, and we just dwelt on the key T accounts related to cost of goods manufactured and cost of goods sold. Now you don't have to necessarily do a trial balance, but you all got to get the income statement done. I worked hard enough today. So all you all have to do by tomorrow, complete this problem and get the income statement done. Are there any questions?
So
No,
what
sir.
should we do
Clarification.
tomorrow at 11:59?
Two person talk at the same time, one at a time. One person at a time. Who's the first person says something?
Ladies first.
Okay,
Oh, he
okay,
said ladies
ladies
first.
first.
I was just asking to verify it. So it's gonna be due tomorrow at 11:59.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next question.
All right. And for clarification, we doing this as a team. Then we turning it into our team leader, and that person is turning it in, or we all turn this. We doing it as a team, and we all turning in one assignment separately.
It's a team assignment, so one per team. I will reduce points. One per team. So the team leader decides who's going to turn it in and get it turned in. Now, if person wasn't here today, I don't want to see them on the submission. Got it?
Yes.
If they weren't here today, then they can't be on your submission. Secondly, you got to, as you work this problem, so that you're finishing your 2 hours next class period, you got to assign portions of this problem to various people and then put it together. You'll be in your breakout groups. So you probably need to be planned to be on around 5:20, so I can get you in your breakout groups by 5:30. Then you can begin the work. How long should it take you all to work one of these? Just ask. They all will be different, just in case you want to know. But That would be different. How long should it take you all to be able to work one of these? Kayvon, how long will it take?
The work to do what we just did,
Yeah,
all of it.
yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak for everybody.
Well, just speak for Kayvon right now.
Like 25 minutes.
He says 25 minutes, get it all done.
Mm-hmm. That's just me though. I can't speak for everybody. Everybody got
So
to
he
take their
said
time.
25 minutes is going to be sufficient for his team to get it done. What about Team 5 with all those people?
We're going to take the full 2 hours and 20 minutes to do it, Dr. Boyd. I want to make sure we get
Oh,
as
so we
much
get
time
2
as we can.
hours.
I'm
So
not
we get
saying it's
2
going to
hours.
take 2 hours, but we'll ensure that we
Well,
have
you know,
everything.
since y'all got 5 people, I have to give y'all extra stuff to do.
If we got 2 hours to take it, I use my full 2 hours too. Why not? I use all my 2 hours. Maybe an hour and a half. I wouldn't say two
What about
hours.
these other teams?
I second that. 2 hours.
Okay, see,
I say two
sound.
hours too.
How does 25 minutes finna go?
Say
I
that.
don't know.
One person
I
said they were going
I
to
mean
finish in
I
25
can
minutes.
I can get it done in 25 minutes, but if we sparing that hour and a half, I'm about to just use that hour and a half, 2 hours. You know what I mean?
So he's saying it's so easy. I guess I did such a good job today explaining it that he can just knock it
So
out. What about it, Maya?
Now he's speaking for himself, Mr. Boyd.
He's speaking for himself.
He ain't speaking for the whole class.
Nah, for real.
He's not speaking for the whole class.
Nah, cause
Yes,
I
big
know
E.
I ain't getting mine done in 25 minutes. I'm gonna take I want to make sure it's right and make sure I know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna take the whole 2 hours to make sure I got it
Take the whole
together.
2 hours. So hopefully you see the prep work we did because we run back to the same. So we'll look at these statements some more, and I'll just kind of see how you coming, and then What if you had to do it by yourself for midterm? How long is it going to take you then?
2 hours.
3 days. Yeah,
We don't want to
I
get
think
into
we'll
your
be.
midterm. So what I want to do is to have everything done. You have a study problem this way. You have to do all the financial statements and have all of that done so you can just enjoy your midterm. You can go to Aruba, the Bahamas, and not have to worry about anything. Okay, so you got to get this in, and I want my income statements done now. I don't want any whatever. Now, people have to be on the full time. It's like some people. So I guess uh, my network is telling me I've been on long enough. So you all go ahead and finish this. Be on about 10 minutes early on Thursday, so I can get you in your teams, and we'll let you go ahead and work. So So manufacturing accounting is not as hard as it might, it's different and it's unique, but the process of making those journal entries are there. So you all